Zooey Mama! How's it going, everybody? I'm here today to talk about what I believe is going to be the best card coming out in the March season of Marvel Snap. I am talking about Mockingbird. So I'm going to go over her ability, her best synergies, 3 decks that you can play with her immediately after she's released, and then I'll just give my final thoughts and ratings on her and if she's worth chasing after. And spoiler alert, I think she is. Okay, again, I think she's going to be the best card that comes out for the Avengers versus X-Men season that we are currently in. So Mockingbird is a 5 cost, 9 powered card with the ability that she costs 1 less for each card you have in play that did not start in your deck. Now, before we go into the details for her, she's going straight into Series 5, will be a full 6,000 tokens, but she's coming out in spotlights alongside Ghost Spider and Man-Thing. And that is a bit of a weaker spotlight cache. I mean, these cards don't really see too much play, and they are Series 4. So definitely a fairly weak spotlight cache, but Mockingbird I think is very, very strong. So let's talk about the best cards that you will see her played with. Alright, so first up we have Thanos. Now again, her ability is that she costs 1 less for all the cards you have in play that did not start in your deck, and Infinity Stones do not start in your deck. Okay, at the start of the game, if you're playing Thanos, he adds the stones to your deck. So any Infinity Stone you play discounts Mockingbird. Okay, that's such a huge obvious synergy. If you just play 2 stones, Mockingbird's a 3/9. That's nuts. We don't have 3/9s. Okay, Gladiator is a 3/8 with a potential downside, and he's seeing a lot of play right now. So Thanos, easy discount for Mockingbird. Cards like Loki are going to be great, right? Things that just add stuff to your hand. Now you do still have to play those cards. Okay, after you play Loki, you're going to have to play the cards that you copied, and then you'd have to draw Mockingbird later. But this also works just with cards like Snowguard, Sentinel, think things that power up the collector. You will just need to play the cards, and once they're on board, then Mockingbird is getting her discount. And then last up, we do have some cards that just add stuff to the board right away. I mean, Squirrel Girl adds 2 squirrels to the board. Those did not start in your hand. Okay, if you play Squirrel Girl, Mockingbird's a 3/9 now. Okay, you've got Debris, she adds rocks, she also kind of annoys your opponent. You've got cards like Brood and Mr. Sinister. Think of these cards that, we associate with Patriot decks. These cards are going to be great. And then there's just locations that do that, right? Some locations add raptors to the board, ninjas, just squirrels. I mean, there's going to be some times where the locations just help you out and give you a free Mockingbird. And a free Mockingbird is a 0/9, and a 0/9 is OP and breaks the game. So that seems pretty dang nice. Now to get into the good and the bad for Mockingbird, the good is that she's got good stats, even if you just discount her once. Okay, a 5/9, that's kind of whatever, right? The basic 5/9 card is Abomination with no ability. So if she's a 5/9, that's not very good. But a 4/9 is already solid. That's 1 under Cull Obsidian. Cull Obsidian's a good card, and it would dodge Shang-Chi, okay, because she only has 9 power. But if you discount her more, she's a 3/9, that's already really good. That's amazing value. 2/9 is busted, 1/9 is busted, 0/9 is busted. Okay, so your goal is to discount her at least once. That gives you good value. If you discount her twice or more, you have amazing value, and she's essentially overpowered in those situations. And again, she can be discounted by various locations that just generate cards. Even if they go to your hand and you play them, that works as well. There's sometimes you just get a free helping hand from locations, and these things also help out cards like Cull Obsidian as well. And again, she has no minimum cost, so she can be 0. It's crazy. She should have a minimum. A 0/9 is busted. The bad, there's not really many bad. Obviously, you do have to plan for her. She does have some deck building limitations. You do need things like Thanos or stuff that's adding cards to your hand or the board to discount her. Okay, so she's not the most flexible, not as flexible as Cull Obsidian, but she can obviously get cheaper. And then you do need to play the cards, and she's kind of boring. Okay, again, I'm talking a lot about Cull Obsidian because I had him last month, as my prediction was he would be the best card in February, and he was, and I thought he was just a boring stat stick, and those cards are good. Okay, Mockingbird, same thing. She's a boring stat stick, and because of that, I think she's going to be the best card of the month, because big power equals good in Marvel Snap. And here's my friendly reminder to please give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel if you have not already, because I make these videos for every single new card that comes to Marvel Snap. So let's get into my 3 decks that you can try immediately when Mockingbird is released. So first up, we've got the elephant in the room, Thanos. Okay, Thanos is the only synergy you need with Mockingbird because he's adding 5 stones to your deck. Again, if you just play one of them, a 4/9, that's solid. If you play 2 or more, you're getting amazing value. We do also have Call Obsidian in here. He's gonna get great value from the stones because you can play him in any location. And we have the new Season Pass card, Hope Summers. So this deck kind of resembles a Thanos Lockjaw, but we don't need Lockjaw because we're running Hope. She's gonna help us ramp up. We can play the stones on top of her to ramp up nice and early, discount our Mockingbird, get a Vision out, play him on Hope, and then move him away. We've got Psylocke for some ramp if needed. I mean, this is just gonna go really big, really fast. And again, by the end of the game, I mean, turn 6, you could play like Mockingbird plus a 6-drop if you got all your stones out. Or if you got 4 stones out, you play Mockingbird plus Devil Dinosaur or Vision. All right, Mockingbird on turn 6 is gonna be cheap. And it's going to be disgusting. Next up, I've got a Loki deck with Mockingbird added in. Now, what's nice here is that sometimes Loki is a bit awkward. Okay, sometimes you don't actually want to get rid of your hand if you're saving your Shang-Chi or your Rogue for a target that you know your opponent is going to play. So in this case, if we do Loki and draw Mockingbird later, that's great. But if we don't Loki, there are just so many triggers for Mockingbird, and you can even put the collector in here if you wanted, but we've got Snowguard who's adding 2 cards to your hand that you can play. We've got Mirage, copying a card, giving it extra power. Agent Coulson gives 2, and then Iron Lad can, sometimes copy those. So Mockingbird is gonna be a 3/9, I think fairly often here if you do not go with the Loki route, and that could be a really good turn 6 play. You've got Mockingbird plus Gladiator, or if you have Zabu down, you've got Mockingbird plus Shang-Chi. I mean, there's some really sneaky ways to just dish out a bunch of power on the final turn here. And last up is the deck that I'm actually most excited for. I've got a Zoo deck here, and Zoo has just been getting a lot of tools recently, and we've even got Moon Girl in the Zoo deck. So the whole point here is that we've got a few 1-drops, right? Ant-Man, Maria Hill, Squirrel Girl. If you play Squirrel Girl, you can play Call Obsidian in whichever lane you want, because they will all have either Squirrel Girl or the squirrels she created. Mockingbird immediately becomes a 3/9, but she could get further reduced through the likes of Debris or Maria Hill, whatever card she generates. We've got Armor and Kyera to protect our 1-cost cards, Khazar to power them up, Blue Marvel to power them up, and then Moon Girl here is really, really sneaky. Because again, Mockingbird has no minimum cost. She could get down to 0 here. Even if you didn't get Maria Hill and play the 2 costs that she creates, even if you just have Squirrel Girl plus Debris, that's 4 cards on your side of the board that did not start in your deck. Mockingbird becomes a 1/9. If you hit Mockingbird with Moon Girl, you've got 2 1/9s in your hand that you can play on turn 6 alongside Call Obsidian. Okay, you drop a 10 power, a 9 power, and another 9-powered card. That's nuts, okay? That's like the Moon Girl She-Hulk combos, but you don't need to skip a turn to save that energy. She-Hulk, you go and skip turn 5 or skip turn 6 if you have magic down to get her discounted. Mockingbird, you don't need to do that. In fact, she gets discounted when you spend your energy by playing cards, okay? So she's a bit like She-Hulk, but she's better because you're actually adding power on the board to discount her. So this deck's gonna go really crazy. I think there's other decks where you can explore Moon Girl plus Mockingbird, because again, that's just nuts. I mean, that 9 power, that is no joke. And if you're playing a 1/9 or 2/9 and you can do 2 of them, Your turn 6 is going to be absolutely crazy. Your opponent is not going to be able to prepare for it. They think they're just against like some zoo cheap deck. And again, debris is actually fairly annoying for your opponent. We do have Kyera in here as well. They cannot kill the rocks. You're just going to slap down a bunch of power. So Mockingbird and Call Obsidian, while they don't necessarily synergize with each other, they synergize with a lot of similar cards. So I think there's going to be a bit of a package forming here. Again, even if it's just like Squirrel Girl and Debris with Call and Mockingbird, that lets you play Call anywhere. It gets Mockingbird discounted, and they're just huge stat sticks. So I think we're kind of starting to see a new package form. Okay, I talked about this a bit with Better A Bill before he was released. People thought he wouldn't be very good because Thor isn't very good. But I'm like, wait a minute, it's different because now you've got Thor and Bill. These two cards you put in the same deck gives Jane Foster value. Odin gets better value. Now you've got this 4-card package. Okay, I think we might start seeing a new just stat stick package with Call and Mockingbird. Okay, you could even have like Gladiator in here if you want. But Squirrel Girl is getting real value. Okay, and she was buffed, you know, somewhat recently. She still doesn't see much play, but she has 4 power spread across 3 lanes, and she's helping out Call and Mockingbird. So I'm very excited for this deck. This is what interests me the most because it's a bit more experimental, but I think there's something here, and Moon Girl decks are just really sneaky and fun. So let's get into my final review and ratings for Mockingbird. So here is a close-up of the Mockingbird Spotlight variant that will be in caches when she's released on March 12th. It's another Pandart Studio variant. Very nice. She's got like our big baton thing, really breaking out of the frame though. I think this is great artwork. In terms of being fun, no. Okay, I'm giving Mockingbird the Call Obsidian treatment. I've compared them so much because I think they're very comparable. And if you saw my video on Call a month ago, you'll know that I said he's not fun. He's good, he's really good, but not fun. Okay, Mockingbird isn't doing anything. She may be a bit more fun than Call, again with the Moon Girl shenanigans, going for discount. Maybe there's something there, but she's really just a big stat stick. Not much in terms of being fun. She is kind of flexible. She does fit obviously with Thanos, and you're gonna see her a lot in Thanos, by the way. If you've seen a lot of Thanos already, even seeing some Thanos Hope Summers deck, you're gonna see even more Thanos when Mockingbird comes out, similar to the deck that I showed in this video, because Thanos is already really strong and Mockingbird makes him stronger, and that's pretty crazy. Okay, we could see some nerfs coming down the line, whether it's to Mockingbird directly or to other aspects of Thanos. So flexibility, she's got the Thanos, but that's not it. She does have Loki stuff or just card generation if you go like a collector deck. And then again, I showed that Zoo deck. There are just a couple cards that can really trigger her. Maybe you're doing something with Brood, maybe you're doing Patriot decks where you're spawning these things. I mean, there are a few scenarios she works in, but you do have to put her in a specific deck. Okay, there's a few different ones, but she's not super generalist card. In terms of being competitive, yeah, I think she's good. I think she's great. I think she's overpowered. I think she's better than Call Obsidian, and Call Obsidian was a darn good card. But again, if you get just 2 discounts, a 3/9, that's like playing Call Obsidian when you have Zabu down, so kind of comparable because you could get Calls a 3/10 with Zabu. Mockingbird, you need 1-cost cards or, you know, other generated stuff instead of Zabu. But if you get down to a 2/9, a 1/9, a 0/9, that's overpowered territory. If Mockingbird consistently gets down to being a 2-cost 9-power card, she will get nerfed. Okay, that cannot stay. Again, Gladiator is a 3/8 with a downside. Even Call Obsidian as a 3/10 with Zabu, he dies to Shang-Chi. Mockingbird just dodges Shang-Chi. She is 1 power under, okay? So do you make her more power? Probably not. That's still a 2/10 in many games, and that's still very strong. I think she gets nerfed. How long it takes, I don't know. Again, I think the Thanos synergy is going to be too strong. And I think even without that, though, other decks, like, again, 2/9, it's not that hard. It is not that hard, and you're getting other cards on the board. You're getting other good stuff. I think she's going to go crazy. So I think she has amazing value. I think she's great. I'm very confident that she's going to be one of, if not the best card coming out in March. So here's my big green thumbs up saying, yes, you should get her unless you're worried about her getting nerfed from being too dang good. So let me know what you think in the comments. If you think Mockingbird's going to be as strong as I do, if you think I'm wrong and she's not going to be that good, and what decks and combos you are excited to try her out in. So until then, stay positive. I'll see you next time.